So I'm here with Hector Delgado today to talk about novations. And Hector, what is a novation? So I've heard this for the last several years, and it's something that is not necessarily a new system, but it's something that it's becoming more popular. So let's talk about that.
Well, absolutely. I think as real estate evolves, all these creative finance options are coming into place, and a lot of people are adopting these creative finance options as alternatives, for investors or homeowners that are looking to sell their property. And basically, a novation is a way for a realtor or an investor to partner with a homeowner who's looking to sell their property. And I think the key feature of innovation is that there's a partnership between the homeowner and the investor in the process of selling the property without actually buying the house. In a traditional investment option, the investor would come and buy the house from you, and then they would go ahead and renovate it and
for a low price.
For a very low price. Yes. So with
and sometimes investors want like a couple $100,000 discount.
Oh, absolutely. Investors want properties at 50% of the value.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, with innovation, basically you're partnering up with the homeowner. In this case, if I was the investor, you were the homeowner, I'd come in and partner with you in the process of selling your house. Now, of course, I'm going to try to make a profit.
Sure. Okay. So my house is a dog. I can't afford to fix it up at all. It needs everything new. And so what benefit, I could just try to sell it for sale by owner, sell it myself. I'm going to take a sale from, or accept an offer from an investor. What is it that you're going to do for me? Am I going to benefit by getting more money at the end because you're helping me to sell it? I mean, it's, you're getting involved, but a true novation, you're investing to make the house worth more money.
Absolutely.
And then we both benefit?
I would say so, yeah, absolutely. So going back to what we were discussing a minute ago, right? So a lot of homeowners that are in a difficult situation, let's say you have some type of illness or death in the family or financial distress where you can't afford the payments of the home, or you're about to lose the house, or you simply don't have the money to fix the home, right? If you decide to sell your home just on the open market, you still have to pay commissions, closing cost. You're going to be hit potentially with requests for repairs. So if that's not really an option for you because you're going to get hammered, an investor could come in and say, hey, I'll buy your house. Let's say it's worth, after repairs, $550,000. Well, they're going to want to buy it at $250,000, $275,000. So now you're getting killed on the price. Whereas in innovation, if I come in, I'll come in and make an offer that's substantially higher than what an investor would offer. And I would partner with you and make an agreement where I'll guarantee a certain price, and I'll expense all the repairs, the closing costs, the commissions, and anything after that initial agreement between us, I get to keep. Okay. Now, the benefit to you is you get to sell your house quicker for more money than you would initially get.
Okay.
And it obviously is a fully renovated home.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's huge. That's substantial.
Absolutely.
So in this process, and I know you've done many already this year, what does that look for me? What does it look like for me if I live in the home? Like, how are you doing this when I'm living in the home? Is that do I need to move out?
That's a very important question. And yes, it is very difficult to go through this process if you're still living in the house. It is highly recommended that the owner, steps to the side and lets the novator or the investor come in and do the renovations. Now, a key factor about novations too, for those that are looking to potentially do this as well, is that when you do a novation and you partner with the owner, you can receive offers on the open market. So you can do FHA, VA, any type of financing. So that's
which oftentimes, because of the condition of the property, you can't.
Exactly.
You're getting rid of the biggest buyer pool, the FHA and the VA buyers, because the house is not in condition to accept an FHA or VA buyer. It won't qualify for a loan. So this opens it up where everyone could purchase it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, what else? Talk to me a little bit more. You not only do novations, but as an investor, you're looking for investment properties as well.
Absolutely.
So, and you have a few lately that you've looked into, and maybe the owner is, they're in a situation like we talked about. Maybe they're going to critical care or assisted living, and they're saying, hey, and it's not, the house isn't in terrible condition. But you're still willing to come in. You're actually giving more than most investors would give, I would say. And then, help, you're more compassionate in the process of helping these owners, which I love. It's not as a cold, investors tend to be a little cutthroat, honestly.
They have a bad reputation.
They have a bad reputation. And when I hear, or I have an investor offer come over and, like you said, 50% off, they want some crazy, crazy discount. And, there's a homeowner involved, and it's a person. It's a person who needs to walk away from their investment with as much money as possible. Now, depending who I'm, rooting for, if I'm rooting for the seller or the buyer, I can see both sides. But at the end of the day, you're taking that on in both directions. You're compassionate with the owner of the property, recognizing they have to sell their property. You're giving them more than most investors would, and you're kind of walking them through the process and helping them sell the property at the same time. And while you're as an investor, you're buying it. You can buy the property for a profit. But I just love that it's not this cold, cutthroat transaction.
Absolutely.
And that's, to me, that's huge. I would put you in my mom's hands, type of thing, or my mom's hand. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying, and you know what? You're absolutely right about that. I think I view investment opportunities the way I view my business in real estate, because I still do traditional real estate,
Right.
and you want to build long-term relationships with people.
Right.
And so there is a need out there for investors. There are people that simply can't necessarily sell their home in the open market.
Right.
But if I come and I help you in that process, and I build a good relationship, and you're happy about how I went about things, you're going to refer me to somebody else.
Right.
And that's the thing that I think makes a big difference between, the way that you and I do business versus some of the other investors out there,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it can be a cutthroat type of business, and we don't want it to be that way.
No, for sure. Okay, well, thank you for talking with us about
Absolutely.
novations, Hector.
Anytime.
Okay.
Thank you.